Namaste, dear friends, and welcome once again to Wisely Well Wednesday. And thank you so very much for bearing with me, for waiting patiently. Yes, there are sometimes some technological humps or speed breakers. But well, all these things add to the fun and the adventure of life, don't they? My vegan journey is kind of like that. When I narrate to you, you'll realize it was not a smooth highway. It was a bumpy road, just like today's FB Live. Two tries, still kar 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 kar. Now we have a nice, maybe smooth start. So as I was saying, we out here in Singapore are enjoying this beautiful cold weather. And we are enjoying wearing our shawls and having our warm cup of teas and soups. Well, it's fun. But is it supposed to be cold on the equator? Are these torrential rains natural? Is this flooding good? Maybe the weather clock, the climate is trying to tell us something. Let's listen carefully. And if you hear something, do let me know. I'm curious. But before we go on to that track, once again, sorry about last time as well. There was some Facebook glitch then also. Some sort of a disturbance. Never mind, technology is learning and so are we. So today, we are in January 2021. January is celebrated world over as a veganary journey. And those of you who know me know I'm passionate, sometimes a little aggressive about my vegan journey. And the other day when I was discussing how to jump over certain pitfalls one of my patients who is trying to be a vegan is going through, she said something to me which made me think. She looked at me and said, "Hey Dr. Priya, were you always this strong?" And then I realized, have I by any chance put a pedestal under my feet? An aura behind my head? Am I acting holier than thou? Then I need to think. I need to look within. And that's when I look back to my veganary journey. It's a long journey. Sometimes it feels as if the beginning is in another lifetime. And maybe it is, who knows. But in this lifetime also, where it began was way, way back. I was in grade 8. Okay, let me at the onset confess. I'm a Goan. And in Goa, fish and rice is our staple. So I was born to fish loving, meat loving, milk products loving family. It's another story that I hated yogurt as a child and hated the milk that my convent forced me to drink when I was in primary school. But all the same, I was born to meat eaters family. In grade 8, that day, till date, is etched in my memory so very clear. I was walking home from school. And I grew up in Mumbai, where we have these dudhwala bhaiyas, who keep one or two cows and sadly enough make them graze on the dump heaps. The poor things eat any rubbish that they find in the dump heaps. So on my way home, there was one such dudhwala bhaiya or milkman who had two cows. And as I was walking home, I saw this sight where the baby calf was near the mother's neck. I was wondering, why is a baby calf near the mother's neck? And the mother was licking the baby calf. The milkman was milking the cow. I looked closely. Why was the calf not moving? What was happening to the calf? It's unnatural, right? For a calf to be close to a mother's neck. But the calf was there still. Then I realized the calf was not alive. The calf was dead. That's what they do. They had killed the calf, stuffed it with sawdust, and the poor cow was licking the dead calf, and from her udders was flowing her love in the form of milk. For whom? For for us, for me, I came home. I'm sorry I'm getting emotional. I came home and I cried. I said, Ma, I can never ever have milk or milk products ever. I don't want to be the reason for the death of any calf. The milk belongs to the calf, not me, Ma. I'm not going to have milk. My mother understood, but she was a mother. In grade 7th, I had a very major illness, so she was scared. What if I stop milk? What if I stop yogurt? Will I become again weak? Will I fall sick? A mother's anxieties. She said, no, Priya, maybe try having little. I said, no, I can't. I was firm. Even in grade 8, I had that courage to say, no, I'm not going to have it ever. I had not seen any Netflix movies. I had not read anything. I'd seen a site which would not ever let me have milk or milk products again. And in the same light, I couldn't eat any other animal. So from that day, I became, what I didn't know then, a vegan. Well, my mother really was worried and tried to convince me this way and that, tried to tweak my taste buds by making the foods that I had enjoyed. But that sight had kind of changed me. But hold on, that's not the end of my story, and it didn't stay that way. I became an overnight celebrity, at least as far as my family was concerned. Days went into months. They thought I will give up after months, but I couldn't. I still see that calf. How could I? And then months rolled into years. You know, people would come and see me because whenever there were family functions, I would help prepare fish, fry fish, and do things like that, clean fish. And, you know, other extended family members would say, oh, look at her. She can do all this, but she doesn't eat. How great is she? And for a little young thing that I was, my ego got a boost. So it continued. But as years rolled by, because there was no knowledge backing this, just one vision, the urges within me started getting overpowering. I wasn't eating, but I wanted to eat. And every time somebody else was eating, inside me, I wanted to eat. I was suppressing my urges. And urge suppression is never good. Urge sublimation is good. With knowledge, when you exhumate these urges, that's good. But suppression is always bad. And I knew it because already I was on the path of spirituality. I reached out to my then boyfriend, my present husband, and said, hey, you know what? I feel like eating. But it's difficult to step down from a pedestal and take off your aura, especially when you're that young. My boyfriend came up with a plan. He said, look, we will change this celebrity thing in a different way. We will tell everybody that he insisted that I eat. And then nobody will question, because in a patriarchal society, if the guy says, well, I become the good wife or the good girlfriend, and that's how we choreographed it. He announced to everybody, I want Priya to eat non-veg, otherwise I'm not going to eat. And so I again started eating. But that vision of the calf wouldn't leave me, so I had not started dairy, but I started having my fish. My Goan genes as if were again propelling my tongue to eat. My tongue, this 2.5 inch worth of a tongue, had won the battle over this big brain. Silly, isn't it? But it was true. And so I continued. Then something beautiful happened. Something so touching, something so lovely, something so spiritually fulfilling. I was born as a mother. I gave birth to my firstborn 25 years back. Yes, she's 25 this year. And I was very staunch. Being a holistic medical practitioner, I was very staunch about breastfeeding. I was clear that my baby will not get any other mammal's milk but mine. and my body is capable of producing as much milk and as much protein and as much calcium and as much whatever that she needs. So she suckled at my breast. And till date, that creates a warmth in the heart. Those of you who have breastfed your babies know. It's not just about feeding your baby. It's something so beautiful, so spiritual that it can't even be described in words. So I fed her for 2 long years. It was funny. 6 months after she stopped her exclusive breastfeeding and I moved her onto her weaning, I would express my milk and make payasam from my own milk. Make all kinds of things that people make from cows and buffaloes' milk from my own milk for my baby. My body supported me. I produced enough milk for my baby and enough to store it. Mind you, I was back in my clinic within 40 days. I was full-time working as a doctor. So I would express milk and come and she would have my express milk and all other times she would feed on me. Then she became 2 and I decided now it is enough and she has to transition from my milk. She was already eating solids and eating a full meal. Now I didn't want to put bitter things on my breast to stop her from. I didn't want her to lose faith in something that is good. I didn't want to drag her away from my breast. I wanted her to do it with knowledge. I was again blessed. By this time, I had moved to the suburbs of Mumbai where there are big mangers where cows and buffaloes are kept. We call them tabelas. So every single day, I would take my daughter to see the cows and their calves, explaining to her. Now, fortunately, there were live calves here. Explaining to her, "Bacha, see, the little baby cow is feeding on mama. The older baby cow or calf is eating grass. You're a big calf now." We did this for 6 months. And she on her own one day said, "Mama, I'm a big calf. Now I don't need mama's boo-boo." But as she was changing, so was I. I was looking at the eyes of the cow. I was looking at how she cared for her babies. And once again the thought came to me, how are we different than any other animal on this planet? What right do I have to kill other animals, to satiate my 2.5-inch worth of a tongue, to satisfy my taste buds, to kill an animal or to steal his milk? How justified am I? Are there no other sources that will help me get all the nutrition that I need through my vegetarian vegan diet? Mind you, still the word vegan was not known to me. I was already off milk and milk products, and now I again stopped all my meats, my fish. The occasional egg still crept in because, egg is just one cell. It's not alive. Though, as a doctor, I knew it was the abortion of the hen. But, one egg. It still came occasionally on a cheat day. And so the journey continued. Then I moved to Singapore. And my second son was born. And somewhere around when he was 2, my mother, on whose breast I had suckled, got breast cancer. I was there for her surgery, but I couldn't stay back for her radiations. She had decided she didn't want chemo. I came to Singapore to take care of my little ones. But within me, I wanted to do something more for all the mothers. So I started my first free cancer clinic at Kampung Sana. I had already been reading about dairy and its negative effects, about meat eating and its negative effects. I was doing a lot of research, mind you. God has made me a holistic wellness practitioner. That gives me an added advantage because that research also helps my patients. But now I intensified my reading. Dr. Colin Campbell's China Studies, my dear friend Betty's Cancer Cured and Treated Naturally, Louis Hay's You Can Heal Yourself. Many such books came to my rescue. I read and I read. I literally was hungry for knowledge. And through that, I came up with my cancer management clinic in Kampong Sanan. And then I realized, oh my God, not just that we are being incompassionate, we are being cruel to animals, but we are also damaging our health and the health of the environment, the health of planet Earth by eating things which we were never meant to eat. So yes, just being vegetarian is not enough, right? Because as I always say, when you kill a cow for beef or a goat for lamb, for mutton, or a sheep for lamb, or a hen for chicken, in one shot they are dead. But for milk, cheese, paneer, butter, yogurt, the cow is killed every day. She stays in a concentration camp. Literally every single day. And she's pumped with hormones. I can never stop saying this because I see young girls as old as 8 getting puberty. Is that right? Why? Of course, all the hormones that are pumped into the cow are going to come to us. Who are we kidding? Be brave, go and watch. Don't trust me. There are enough footings on Netflix. Go and watch Cowspiracy. Cowspiracy. Go and watch Forks Over Knives. Go and watch What the Health. You don't have to trust me. You can go and watch documentaries. It's horrible what we do to these beautiful animals. So yes, continued my vegan journey. But yet, the occasional cake would tempt me. The occasional sweets would tempt me, especially during festive time. And then another beautiful thing happened. A furry child decided to adopt me. I became a doggy mom. Pluto walked into our lives. He is a Singapore special and he adopted us at SPCA. This beautiful creature is a little nutty, a little crazy, but he's lovable. And every time I go home from the clinic and I look into his eyes, deep within his eyes, I feel his soul. And again the thought comes to me that if ever somebody would take Pluto and put a knife on his neck or confine him in a little cage, what would be the look in those beautiful eyes? What would those eyes say to me? They would say, Ma, free me. Free me from this. Free me. And therefore, every time the thought even came from my taste buds that maybe I should eat this, the look in Pluto's eyes stopped me. Said, Ma, no, you cannot. Because every animal that dies has that look of pain in its eyes. So what if it's not its pet, your pet? So what? You have not raised it. The eyes still will tell you, stop, please stop. Every time a calf is pulled away from its mother's breast so that you can steal her milk, the eyes cry. They say, don't, please don't take my calf away from me. The same way I would have cried if somebody would have pulled my children away from my breast. And then when you see people dying of cancer, slow, painful deaths, You know, when I see them as my patients, all my staff knows, I feel like getting up, and I do get up and hug them. I just want to stop that. And sometimes, when in front of my eyes, I helplessly watch patients just disintegrating, I stand in front of God and say, what can I do? How can I help? So, dear friends, prevention is always better than cure. Let us not wait till cancer strikes. Let us think, is it really worth it? Whether you come from an angle of compassion because you feel the pain of a mother cow, or a baby calf, or a goat, or a hen, whether you come from the place of health, where you say that, hey guys, you know what? I want to take charge of my health, and therefore I want to get vegan. Or you come from a place of being an environmentalist, where you don't want snow to happen where it shouldn't, and rain to pour like this, where you want to stop the climate change, where you want your children to benefit this beautiful planet Earth. You and I, we will leave. What kind of a world do we want to leave for our children, for our people, for the future generations, for our grandchildren? If you come from a place of environmentalism, then guys, veganism is the way to go. It is difficult, it is hard. And I'm not going to say in a moment, give it up. It's a journey. Take baby steps. Maybe start with a meatless Monday or a vegan Wednesday. Let's start. Let's take baby steps. Maybe just stop dairy completely. Then maybe drop off other things. Slowly, slowly. I'm not shaming anyone. I'm not saying all of you are wrong. It's a journey. Read, get more knowledge. Try your level best. If you have any humps, or if you have any quirks, or if you have a space where you don't know how to manage, reach out to me. I will hold your hand. I will help you through it. And those of you who are serious and really want to get into the veganism fold, but don't know how, or are scared that you may get weak, or you might get tired, or your bones may get weak, reach out to us. We have a program for 3 weeks, 3 weeks into veganism, where we slowly, gradually ease you into it. But that's a serious program. Those of you who are in an experimental stage and are reaching through these little humps, do reach out. Do share in the comments here, and we will give you simple solution to get over it. Or if you have doubts, where am I going to get calcium? What will happen to my bones? How am I going to get proteins? Do put all those questions. And without saying that you are not doing it right, I will hold your hand. Because I have been there, up and down, on the bumpy road. Till today, honestly I tell you, I've forgotten. I've stopped eating milk, meat for so long that my tongue has forgotten the taste. Yes, I do remember the experience of shared memories. Like yesterday, a friend has just transitioned into own cooking, and I was talking to her, telling her my mother, my grandmother, my aunt, my mother-in-law used to cook this and that. As I was relating those experiences, my tongue had no memories. The memories was shared experience with my family. That's all. It's all gone. Like my son says, Mama has forgotten the taste now. Yes. And there's a little story there. Maybe some other time I'll share how my family also has transitioned and made the move. Where I was 1 against 3. Now we have 3 against 1. But that's story for another day. So do reach out. At least in January, whatever we have remaining of January, have a meatless Monday, be a vegan on Wednesday, and see how it feels. Believe me, all the calves, all the cows, all the fishes, all the hens, all the goats, all the pigs, all the horses and all the animals of the world will say to you along with me, thank you. Thank you so very much.